Hello and welcome to an orientation video getting into how to use Acellus and how to work on your classes and just get some good work done in there. So first thing is let's get all logged in. You should have an Acellus ID and a password. Here I'm on the student login page. So I'm going to log in with my test account and then we'll look at the actual interface here. So the Acellus ID looks like a phone number, so don't be tripped out by that. And there we go, we got our password. All right, so we're all signed in. This is what your first dashboard or your home page, so what it looks like. You should see some different menu items here. It should start you right in on classes, and you can see which classes you're taking. Some of you may only have one class, some of you may have several classes. All right, so let's start going through some of these. So we got classes here. I've got Algebra 1, Language Arts 2, and Biology. A little bit about classes is generally in Acellus, you get the whole year. So when it says Algebra 1, that is a full year, both A and semester B of it. Some of you may need to do the full class. Some of you may only need to do a semester. And so you work with your teacher in terms of finding out how much you need to do. But let's take a look at, let's just take a look at Biology here. So when I click on a class, it takes me right into a video that I can watch. We're not going to watch that now. We'll do that later on there. But once you're in their video, this is where you also do your questions. When you want to get out of this place, go ahead and click on the little door in the bottom right, and you can get right back to your classes page. So that's where your classes, you'll click on those to get started working. Let's move on down. We got the progress bar. This is helpful if you want to set some goals or if you want to know where you're at. So for this biology class, I can see that just started. I'm on the very first lesson out of 183. 183 is, again, the whole entire year, one full credit of biology. So I got a little progress bar that tells me how far I am. I can always see at what position. Roughly halfway through the course, the first semester will be around lesson 90 or something like that. You also have a report bar, so you can set goals for how many lessons you want to do per week or how many lessons you may want to do per day. Right now, this is set up at doing 7 lessons per week, so it's kind of based on a weekly goal right here. So these 7 lessons, you could divide 183 by 7 and get a good idea roughly about how long it'll take. So that's about 25 weeks or so. If you do more, you can work with your teacher to adjust these goals. If you're trying to get this class done maybe in a month, or if you want to spread it all year, you can adjust the goals. And then every time you log in, you can see kind of what you need to do for the week. And then it gives you right here kind of a list of, okay, if this is your goal, 7 lessons a week, and you want to do it by Friday, then you need to do these lessons. It lists out 7 for you. You can't click on them, but it gives you an idea of what you need to do in terms of getting through stuff. And then over here, your progress score, this is where you know what your grade is. 90% above is A, 80% and above is a B, kind of the usual, unless you're taking the class for pass, fail. Messages. There is a way to message your teachers or to check messages in here. I would prefer that you use Canvas, as that is our main messenger system, but you can message from in here as well and see if you get new messages. If you're curious to know how much you worked, you can look on attendance. You can see right now a green mark means you were working on that class for that day at any point. And so you can see if there's empty, that means you didn't work at the class at all. So it gives you an idea of, well, how well you're working. Are you getting on every day? Are you being more sporadic? Helps you kind of know your own progress. All right, the score button up top here, this is where I can get an overall grade on how I'm doing, so for all my classes at once. But I can also filter down and get more of a lesson by lesson grade. I can see which lessons I struggled with, and I can see which lessons I passed. And you get an idea of your overall progress. So my class grade is 71.2%, and there I can see what assignments are leading to that. So some of them I did really well, I got 3 out of 3, did really fast, got 100. Some of them took a while, 9 out of 37, I'm still struggling on this one. I can't dig in and look at each individual question. You'll need to work with your teachers to do that. But I can get an overall idea, look over my scores, and maybe perhaps let's take a lesson of struggle. This lesson, adding polynomials with algebra tiles. I got a 4 out of 12. I still have a red flag. This could be one where I contact my teacher, go to online office hours, and go over that lesson with them to see if I can redo my score. So scores is where you get a detailed breakdown about how you're doing in a class. And again, you can filter through any of your other classes. See, I haven't done any work yet in Language Arts 2. Okay, that's pretty much all you need. Again, the classes, the progress, and possibly the scores. Most of the times, you'll just use the classes and the progress button. All right, let's go ahead and let's look at a class. Let's get an idea of what a class is like. So I'm going to work on a lesson from biology. So I'm going to turn on my video.
Today we're going to talk about biology, and more importantly, within biology, the study of ecology.
You can see most videos are pretty short, so 2 to 3 minutes long. This one's 2 minutes and 47 seconds. We're just going to go let it play, just so you can get an idea of what the teaching is like.
Ecology is basically the study of interactions among and between organisms and their environment. Okay? I want to break down both ecology and biology for you so you have an understanding of what the words are. The root word for both ecology and biology is logos.
If you want to, if it helps, you can turn on subtitles.
Logos means...
A lot of times that helps you focus as you're able to read and listen.
So when you see ology after any word, we're talking about the study of something, whether it's psychology, biology, or ecology. Eco, the root word we're talking about there, it looks kind of different, but it's ecos. It looks different because it's Greek and it means house. Okay? House, we're basically talking about the study of our house. And where is our house? Our house is the earth.
Unfortunately, I can't fast forward any of these videos. So again, I'm a minute and 10 seconds into this. But what I should do, as you're working through a class, you should be having a notebook or some sort of paper, somewhere where you're able to take notes. I would write down what does logos mean. It means study. What does oikos means? It means house. I would jot these things down, and anything else that seems important, have it in my notes, so when I get to the next lesson, I'll be able to refer to that while I'm doing all the questions.
So ecology is the study of Earth and all the interactions that are happening in it. When we expand that to biology, we're looking at bios, and bios means life. So when we talk about biology, we're talking about the study of life. Okay? Ecology has a lot of different aspects to it. There's a lot of different divisions of ecology, and what we're going to focus on today is just basically the standard definition, which is talking about the interactions between the organisms and how they work with their environment. One key component of ecology is this process or this topic of interdependence. Okay? Interdependence basically states that no organism can survive without help from other organisms. For example,
that seems pretty important. I'd probably want to write that down in my notes. Interdependence, it's a good vocabulary word. What does that mean when we're looking at biology?
An animal that eats plants relies on plants. That's pretty simple. An animal that eats other animals has to have those animals in order to feed. Now, are plants completely independent? No, because plants rely on decomposers. If decomposers aren't in the soil returning nutrients to the soil, then the plants can't grow. So everybody's connected in one way or another. Okay? There's no way that any organism can stand alone. And that's basically the essence of ecology. It's everything working together to create a balanced ecosystem, an ecosystem in which all organisms can survive and thrive.
There we go. So that's the plus side about Acellus is you have nice short videos that really hit just one little concept. So they're not 10 minutes, they're not 15 minutes. It's 2, 3, maybe 4-minute videos. They're hitting one concept. You're getting really focused teaching. And then you get a series of questions based on that video. Now the questions, you'll notice as you're working through Acellus, sometimes you may see a lot of questions, sometimes you may see less. So I want to explain a little bit about how the questioning works. After every video, you get some questions, and it responds to how you answer them. If you get 3 questions right in a row, 1, 2, 3, it assumes, wow, you know this pretty well. You got 3 right in a row. You're ready to go on to the next concept. So sometimes you get to a set of questions. You may know it really well. You may remember it from past schoolwork. You may get 3 right in a row and only spend like 3 or 4 minutes on those actual questions and go right to the next one. Other times you may get a series of questions. You may have watched the video, but you didn't quite get it. You're working on the questions, you're getting some right, but you're missing some. You're getting a one right, you're missing some. You may do like 10 or 15 questions. You may do a whole bunch of questions. The other thing is, as soon as you miss 3 questions, and it doesn't have to be 3 in a row, but as soon as you miss 3, it's assumed, okay, there's things that you didn't get, there's things that you need rework on. You may go back and it may send you back to rewatching that video and say, hey, let's review. Let's watch that 2-3 minute video again, see what it is. Maybe now rewatching it, you'll catch what you didn't understand before, and then go back to the questions. So sometimes students take like 5 minutes to do a set of questions. Sometimes it takes them a half hour, 45 minutes, and a couple times, 2 or 3 times of cycling through the same video. Sometimes they give you an alternate video to kind of reteach a different way. But that's okay. It's helping you kind of get the concept, and sometimes you need to go through something a couple, 2-3 times before you finally get it. If you find yourself spinning and you're going through and you just keep missing question after question, but you don't know why and the videos aren't helping, that's a time to stop working, contact your teacher, see if you can get some direct help on what you're working on, and maybe work on another class until they're able to get back to you. But don't just keep clicking and getting super frustrated. All right, so let's look at these questions here. What means that organisms work together to benefit each other in the ecosystem in which they live? They rely on each other to fulfill their needs to thrive. That's one of the vocabulary questions. That's interdependence. We talked about that in the lesson there. Logos is the root word of biology and ecology, and means logos. Okay, again, another direct thing that I hopefully wrote down in my notes. Logos means the study of. Biology means the study of life. Ecology is the study of the earth and the interactions that take place. Okay, so you can tell I only did 3 questions and now I'm already on the next lesson, so I must have gotten them all right. It didn't give me any feedback on them, but let's go back. If I click on my scores, let's go back to that biology lesson. And there's nothing showing up yet. Let's look at all work. There we go. You can see I got 3 out of 3 correct. So I can just double check my process on that one. Okay, hopefully that is a good introduction for Acellus, how to access your classes. Make sure you're having a notebook as you're working through, you're taking notes, you're writing down keywords and concepts to help you remember. And again, contact your teacher about your progress and any goal setting. If you have questions, if you're not sure of how things work, we can follow up with you individually. All right, good luck with this class and have fun.